Hi there, welcome to Enchanted Fireside. My name is Dan, I'm one of the service techs here, and we're going to show you today how to remove and clean a baffle for your Mount Vernon Pellet Insert. And we're going to start here by opening the front door. And the first thing we want to do is get anything in the fire pot out, just so that we can access that baffle. So we're going to take the ash pan out and remove these logs, if you have them. And just put those right in there for now. You can shake the ash off them just lightly. Now we've revealed our baffle on the back here. That's this big cast iron plate. We'll just put this off to the side. And with a flathead screwdriver, there's going to be 2 tabs on each side of the stove. You're going to slide that in and pull down on the tab. You can just pull those off. At this point we can let the baffle down. That'll rest on those 2 tabs. And you may have to get a little bit of leverage here. You're going to pull up and then pull off. So now that we're looking at our heat exchange fins, what we want to do is really get these nice and clean. Anytime that the ash particles start to build up on these fins, that's really going to insulate the back of the stove, and it's going to lose a little bit of the efficiency that you have. So with a soft bristle brush, I like to use something that has some short fins on it just here. You can basically get right in between all of these fins, and I like to go diagonally. It just allows the brush to move nice and smooth, and as you can see, we're going to really remove all of that ash. And we'll do it both ways. Now while you're doing this, obviously we can't be running a vacuum because we have to be able to hear it, but you'll probably want to run a vacuum. You can go over the tops of them as well. Right down the side. So now that we have the fins clean on the back of the stove here, just keep in mind that the insert model and the freestanding model are both the same, so that plate gets removed the same way. And a lot of times if we were running a vacuum here, we would take a little bit of air cleaner and spray the back of the fins just to get them nice and clean. But this will do it for the most part. So we're going to close this up now. So with your baffle plate removed, now we have it on the floor here. And this is the back side of the baffle, as you can tell from the front. That's what you're looking at inside the stove. So we're going to flip it on its back. And with that same brush that you used before, we'll give that a quick little dusting, get most of the debris off. And again, you can be running a vacuum while you do this, just so that it doesn't get all over the place. You want to make sure to get into all the crevices and all the creases here. Right along the top. With the back of the baffle clean now, we'll flip this over to the front again. And we want to make sure that all of the residue is completely taken off of the front of this. As you can tell with the brush, there isn't too much ash to be removed that adds up on the front here. So what we're going to do is take a wire brush. It can be any size, it doesn't have to be this. And we're going to go nice and easy right on the side of the baffle. And we'll start from one side and work our way all the way over. And again, make sure you get in all the creases and crevices here. As you can see, that really takes it right down to the bare metal. So after wire brushing the entire baffle plate, we're going to just brush the rest of that residue off. And this brush actually was a normal paintbrush at one time, and after you use it for cleaning your stove, it kind of turns into what we like to call a monkey brush. And that can really be handy when it comes to cleaning these. And keep in mind also that you do want to do this about once a month, or more often if you're burning it more frequently, if you're going through more pellets. So with that nice and clean, we're going to bring that back over to the stove. So now we're going to open up the front of the stove once more. Open the glass. And once we put the baffle in here, right like that, it's just going to sit on the bottom, and then we're going to have to get over these screws, just like so. We'll take the clips that we had taken off originally, and these you can pop on the top and slide up into place. Just make sure they're all the way up. Do that on both sides. And you also want to make sure when you're doing the cleaning, a lot of times you may notice minor cracks in the baffle here, and if there are cracks in the baffle, that's allowing air to penetrate through the baffle as opposed to going around it and through those heat exchange fins. You do want to replace the baffle if it has any cracks in it, but obviously for our purposes here, we should be in good shape. We're going to put the logs back into place. We'll reinstall our ash pan. Again, make sure that makes a nice gasketed seal. Close the front door. Now you have successfully removed and cleaned your baffle plate. And again, you want to make sure that gets done about once a month.